I'm excited to review the Fesley FED1000 electric drum kit. The folks at Fesley contacted me to check out and give my feedback on this very inexpensive electric drum kit. This could be a great kit to get started with as a beginner, and if you are a music teacher watching this, could be a great addition to your classroom. This drum kit will end up at the school that I teach for, which I'm excited about because for years at another school I taught for, I did have a drum kit in the classroom, which I use for many different games and also as a reward for kids to play on. So I want to thank Fesley for sending me the electric drum kit, as it can now be used to enhance the music education of students that I teach. So once I get this all opened and set up, a few important points that I look to cover in this video are: number one, how easy or difficult it is to set up the drum kit. Number two, the quality of the stands, drum heads, and cymbals. Number three, the feel and response of the drums and cymbals. And number four, the features on the drum module. And what is important to include is that I will be looking at this through the lens of the price points. And I'm not going to say the exact price because it may change as this video gets older, but it is on the inexpensive side of electric drum kits within the $400 to $600 range. If you click the link below, you can find the exact price along with a discount code. I have owned and performed on drum kits that are in the $2,000 to $5,000 price range, so I'm super interested in how it is in relation to those professional electric drum kits. So let's get it all set up. Fesley FED1000 is all set up, and I was able to really test it out, and we'll go through the drums and how they work and what I think about it. But let's first discuss piecing the kit together. The kit came in many different pieces and took around an hour to put together, which is what I expected and is a small price to pay for the fact that the kit is pretty inexpensive for what you get. And, well, what do you get? Well, you get everything you would need. It's probably more common to order an instrument and get just the instrument and not all of the accessories that allow you to actually play the instrument. So for example, if getting a drum kit, you most likely wouldn't get a bass drum pedal or a drum seat or what we call a drum throne. And you certainly wouldn't get headphones, but with the FED1000, you get all of that. The bass drum pedal, a hi-hat stand, headphones, drumsticks, and then of course the frame to hold the drums, the mesh head drum pads, cymbals, chords, and they even give you the tools needed to lock everything into place. When opening the box, all of the pieces are nicely labeled, making it easy to piece together. But it's important to know, as someone looking for a beginner drum kit, that you will need to put aside an hour or more to piece it all together. The quality. When piecing everything together, I was able to get an idea of the quality of the frame, drums, and cymbals. The frame isn't heavy, which I was a little worried about because with a lighter frame, the kit could move around when playing. But even though the pipes were lighter, the kit did not move around once all pieces were together, which makes the playability of the drum kit way more fun. You just need to make sure that everything is tightened nicely once all pieced together to keep the drums from moving. The drums have a nice mesh head, which for many electric drum sets with a lower price point would typically have a rubber pad instead of a mesh head. The goal of a mesh head is to have a similar response to a real drum. We will get an idea of the response and feel later on, so make sure to stay tuned. The cymbals are made of plastic, but include a rubber coating over top for the trigger that is struck by the stick. I have seen lower priced electric drum kits come with the rubber stiff cymbal pads, which do not have a great feel, but the Fesley FED1000 have the cymbals related to the design of a real cymbal, meaning it's a standalone piece that you place on the cymbal stand. And when you hit the cymbal, it has the same movement or response to a real cymbal. And I really like that aspect for the cymbals. They have a nice weight to them, but of course, we'll see the response of the cymbals later on. The hi-hat stand is on the lighter side compared to a hi-hat stand used on acoustic drum set. So if your leg moves around when you are playing, you may notice that it will wobble. I don't personally move too much on my left leg when controlling the hi-hat, so it wasn't an issue for me. But to help with this, you could put a sandbag over top of the hi-hat stand near the legs to keep it from moving. I must say though, I was surprised that a hi-hat stand came with the kit. More often, the hi-hat would be a part of the rack frame and can be a little tricky to position correctly when part of the frame, and also if the hi-hat is part of the frame when playing other drums, it can trigger the hi-hat sound. So I was really happy that the hi-hat came with a stand so that it is independent of the rest of the kit and offers the feel of a real drum set since you are using an actual hi-hat stand pedal. The bass drum is independent of the main frame of the kit as well. I've played electric drum kits when the bass drum pad and pedal is part of the frame, which can trigger other drums when playing the kick. So it's great to see that the kick drum is separate from the frame and has a solid attachment with proper anchors so that the kick doesn't move when playing. As mentioned before, it does come with a kick drum pedal, which is great since you don't have to go out and buy that separately. The kick drum pedal is, well, just okay. It works, but it's not the greatest kick pedal, which is what I would expect at this lower price point. And just for reference, you could spend double the amount of the entire Fesley FED1000 kit on just one kick drum pedal. So as time moves forward and you enjoy playing, a great upgrade to your drumming life alongside this electric drum kit would be an updated drum kick pedal. But just getting started, the drum kick pedal that is included will work. You just have to make sure over time that you are paying attention to if it becomes loose to tighten as necessary. Overall, I'm happy with the quality of everything that came with the FED1000, and I'm planning on doing a follow-up video a couple months from now to see how the quality of everything stands up after being played for an extended period of time. So become a subscriber so then you can get the notification of when that comes out. But now let's get into how the drums and cymbals respond and feel. The bass drum. So as mentioned before, the kick pedal that came with the kit is just okay. It totally works, but naturally doesn't have the response of a higher end kick pedal. But the feel of hitting the pedal against the bass drum is nice and very responsive. It doesn't cut in and out while striking, which I have seen on other drum kits. Within the module, you can change the sensitivity and a variety of other features on each drum to customize how you play. The toms. The toms use the mesh heads, which are responding well. Mesh heads are made to have a similar bounce to an acoustic drum kit. It's not exact to a real kit, and honestly, that can change drastically between different acoustic sets played, depending on the drum head used, but in the end, the mesh heads is a way better feel than playing on a rubber pad, which could be expected for a more inexpensive drum kit. Just having mesh heads for the toms is great and has a nice feel and is responsive to everything played. cymbals. As mentioned before, the cymbals are designed to act similar to a real cymbal. They have a rubber coating over top of the plastic that makes striking the cymbal more enjoyable. The ride cymbal has two different sounds or triggers. If I play lightly, it sounds a traditional flat ride kind of sound, but if I play a little harder, it will create a bell sound, which I think is super cool. The hi-hat. The hi-hat has a more sophisticated setup to simulate the sound of a real hi-hat. The foot on the hi-hat pedal in combination with striking the hi-hat allows a couple sounds, and this electric kit offers two basic sounds when striking the hi-hat. First, we have the closed hi-hat sound when the pedal is pressed down, and then we have an open hi-hat sound when the pedal is up. The response of these two different sounds is pretty good with the manipulation of the foot control pedal. Then you can have a hi-hat sound that is created just with the foot. That also functions well. So overall, the feel and response of the hi-hat is good. It could be a little more sophisticated to get different sounds and even a little more response when playing, but overall, it allows the player to get the typical use of a hi-hat. On to the snare drum. The snare drum is made with a mesh head to offer a more realistic feel of a snare drum. This snare drum has a pretty good response to everything being played. There are some intricate things that can be done on a real snare drum that are not going to be heard with this electric snare, but that would be for a more advanced player. The snare drum does offer a different trigger sound on the rim. The rim offers the side stick sound, which is very cool. The one thing this snare doesn't offer, which other electric snares do, is a rim shot. A rim shot is a different snare sound that combines the use of hitting the snare while also hitting the rim of the snare. When combined, it creates an accented snare sound, which can be a nice variation amongst playing a flat snare sound or alongside ghost notes. So we don't get that with this snare, and it would be great if that trigger could be added in, but overall, it's great to get the side stick sound and a responsive snare overall. Let's get playing everything all together. So while playing, the feel of everything is nice. It's fun to play because everything responds well. The great thing about having electric drums is you can put on headphones and play without bothering anyone else in the house. It's great for practicing, and you can play around with different sounds. There are 30 different demo songs as well that include the drums within the songs to get an idea of what is being played, and then you could play along with it. It would be great if the songs could have the drums taken out, so then you could practice along with it, but currently that is not offered within the module. There is also a metronome built in, so you could play along with a click track for practicing. And of course, there are the outputs to go directly into a computer to record, or you can simply connect to a speaker to amplify the sound. As mentioned before, I plan to do a follow-up review to see if everything is still working after a couple of months of play, so subscribe to get the update. If interested in the Fesley FED1000, check out the description box for a discount code and get playing this kit. Thank you so much. I'm Mr. Henry, and I'll see you in the next video.